What in the world would possess me to want to do not just another podcast, but 3 new podcasts? You might be somebody who watched Tell the Story Doc. You may be somebody who watched He's the Pastor, I'm the Rapper. You may be one of the people who jumped on when we turned to Midtown Disciples. And you might be like, why should I continue to follow this page? I'm about to tell you why. Because we are going to be bringing out all new content that I think is going to bless your life, all of your life. If you don't know who I am, I don't know how you found this, but my name is Byron. I'm a church planter. I'm a pastor. I'm a creative, education. I do a lot of different things, but we decided to create All of Life TV so that we can kind of pull all those things in one place. He's the Pastor, I'm the Rapper, Midtown Disciples, Tell the Story Doc, and a brand new podcast that we are calling Connect Daytona, because it's going to be hosted in the Connect. So I just wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about how difficult it is to start something new. I started my first podcast during the pandemic. I've been wanting to start one for quite some time. The reason I started it then is because we just didn't have reach, access to a lot of people. And let's be honest, content creation just jumped through the roof at that time. And the idea of Tell the Story Doc was that even though the pandemic was here, I could give people a view of what church planting is like while I was church planting. The hard part about that is I hate vlogging, I hate recording myself, I hate all that. But now I've gotten to the point where I understand that content creation is absolutely necessary in what I'm doing. By the way, how do I sound right now? Because I'm trying out a new microphone system that I'm wondering if this is going to be my new thing. So you might be wondering what kind of mics they are. It is the AnchorWorks system. I wanted to go with the DJI system. I already have the Rode Wireless Go system, but the AnchorWorks system seemed to be one that will work for me in this time for 3 major reasons. 1, it's compact. 2, it has a self-charging case, so you can just put the stuff in there. It'll charge back up itself. And 3, this might seem like simple, but it has a magnet. So like the magnet allows for you to put it on your shirt without clipping it. And that's why we use AnchorWorks. This video is not sponsored, but if AnchorWorks wants to throw me some money, or I don't even know how that works, holla at me, AnchorWorks. Send me like 10 more of these. I love them. So I'll start my day this morning doing some research on content creation. One of the things that's held me back in content creation, and holds a lot of people back, is consistency. And the reason why people aren't consistent is because they don't plan. When we did He's a Pastor, I'm the Rapper, we would have sessions where we would just say, okay, for the next 8 weeks, we want to talk about these things. And then if an interview popped up or something in the news came about, we'd jump on that subject, but we already had our schedule. With Tell the Story Doc, has been a little bit different. I haven't had as much of a schedule, but we're changing that this time, and I'm gonna show you how. AI is helping me to do this. So I wrote a prompt, and the prompt just says, give me a 3-week schedule with 15 video ideas for our YouTube channel that's focused on church leaders and church planters. And you see, it gives me a layout right here. Now, this is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be exactly what you want it to be, but I do think it's worth using this to kind of help frame out what you're doing. If you're in church planting, if you're in content creation, even if you're just a pastor that preaches every week, or you might be a social influencer or a person who's trying to build a business, I suggest that you get to know these tools, especially like OpenAI or ChatGPT, because you can feed it prompts and it can give you some organization help, which is most creatives' hardest thing to deal with is organization. Another thing about me creating this time is I'm just gonna post. I'm just gonna be honest. The edits might not be that great. The cuts might not be the best that they can be. The lighting might not be the greatest. There might be glitches in editing for a little bit, but I am just going to post because, okay, this is terrible. So I had to get dressed, get clean, because I'm about to go on a lunch meeting with a friend of mine who is actually the chief of police for Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm excited because on the Connect Daytona podcast, that is who we're focused on. Actually, people who are from Daytona doing major things. So you'll probably see the chief of police, the mayor, but you'll also see like local business owners. Like we're going to a place called Crab Stop. I love that place. I want to interview the owner of that place. I want to interview Oliver and Pat, who runs the restaurant. So we'll see how it goes today. We'll see if we can get them on the podcast. So just wrapped up a good little lunch with the police chief. Crab Stop is dope. If you're in Daytona, check out Crab Stop. Check out Crab Stop. That's why I always send people when we get to town, when people ask me what they should eat, I always say Crab Stop. Man, enjoy having a conversation with a guy who I would say, man, he's a friend and good brother trying to serve this community. One of the youngest Black police chiefs. I think the youngest one we've had for our city and the first Black maybe for our city as well. And right now Daytona is in a really good place. We have a Black city manager, a Black mayor, a Black police chief, but y'all know leadership is tough. So hopefully we get him on the Connect Daytona podcast so y'all can hear more about what he does. And he's a man of God and he supports our ministry. So I'm excited about all of that. I'm about to jump into the Connect though to see if I can get some work done. So I'm going to sit down, take my computer out and continue on the path of using AI to make this podcast better. I just realized this is not the most attractive setup. So I'm gonna change up the setup right now. So this is just another one of our setups here in the Connect. This is one I'll use, I don't know, maybe when I'm just doing a talking head video or something like that. But I thought maybe as I'm putting this video together, I could show you how AI can be used to come up with thumbnails. So what's cool is I've used AI to go from an image that is super simple, like this. It actually was a vertical image that I took so that, I would have something to post on social media. And now I have a thumbnail that can look a bit like this if I wanted it to. So AI is extremely helpful in moments like this. Remember, AI is simply a tool. It's not gonna replace anybody. People using AI will replace people. And I'm just gonna be honest, I'm gonna use AI to ensure that we produce the best podcast that we can produce, whether it's for writing script or scheduling people or cleaning up sounds in those places or changing backgrounds. Matter of fact, right now I'm adding things right now, I've used AI to remove the camera that is behind me recording this point of view. All in all, the reason why we're continuing podcasting is because we feel like it's a powerful way to reach people. And so many of you all have told me and Ty over time that it's been impactful in the lives that you're able to live and the things that you're able to do. So we want to continue in that whole rhythm. Give me like 3 seconds to explain why we'll have 3 podcasts and not just one. Here's the first one, Tell the Story Doc. If you're a person who's ever wondered about what pastors think, how pastors move, what their lives are like, what things they are passionate about, you probably want to check out this podcast, because my pursuit is not just to hear pastors talk about the random things that they learn in seminary or any of that. What I would like for you to experience in watching this is like you sitting down with the pastor and he's sitting in your living room and you really get to know that pastor as a person and not just like this figure that's far up. Pastors are to be respected, but we're also just regular people. And so many of you all have said that you enjoy me having regular conversations with Ty. So we want to share that and let you know that there are other pastors all over who are doing the same thing and are just as down to earth, I would say. The second podcast that we will be presenting to you is one that you're familiar with, and it's Midtown Disciples. Now, although Ty won't be a regular host on Midtown Disciples, y'all pray and I'll pray that he'll be a guest host on Midtown Disciples, and we'll have several other guest hosts, whether it be from our church, other pastors that I know, and even have interviews, hopefully, with people like DJ Mike LV and Derek Minor and a few other people in the culture that can help us dig out how we can live lives following Jesus well in the culture without falling into temptations to be overly churchy or overly judgmental or unhelpful in our walks as Christians. So Midtown Disciples will continue on. It won't be a weekly podcast, but you will see things from me in the Midtown Disciples vein, because discipleship is important. And lastly, if you have been a part of anything that we've done, if you've watched Midtown Disciples, or He's the Pastor, I'm the Rapper, or even just been someone who's watched our church podcast or Tell the Story doc, you know how much I love Daytona. So we're gonna do a podcast strictly focused on Daytona and the people in Daytona who are doing good business, especially for the Lord. Although you might not live here, you might not think it could be of value. It's gonna be of immense value, because I want y'all to know how lit Daytona is. Y'all like taking vacations to Orlando and Miami and all of that, but we want you to know that there's places and people to love right here in Daytona Beach. So I gotta get to editing it, because my hope and my prayer is that I can get this video right here out within the next hour, and y'all can be watching it this evening, which today is Friday, July 28th. So if you're watching this video, you made it this far and you aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Or matter of fact, if you like this video, go ahead and like it, subscribe, and drop something in the comment, because I'm praying that we can get this out to as many people as possible. So once we start having interviews and start getting people on the show, they'll already be alert. Wait, one more thing before I forget. Who would you like to see on the podcast? Maybe your pastor, maybe a rapper that you like, maybe somebody in the culture, another YouTuber. If there's somebody who you'd like to see on the podcast, drop their name in the comment. Y'all, I love y'all, and continue to live all of life in Jesus Christ.